Hey, guess what time it is? It's speed build time, because that's what we do here. Now today I had a vision. I'm not going to say it was a good vision, because I won't lie to you and tell you that I made a great house. But it's a vision nonetheless. I wanted to build the house, like the murder house from like the original Scream movie that came out in the 1990s. Because it's probably my favorite horror movie ever. I love it so much. It's so funny. It's kind of like a parody of horror movies. I don't know, I just find it really hilarious. But I wanted to build the house from it, like the house where they're at a party and the serial killer is, killing people. So, that's the house that we're getting today. Now, I won't lie to you and say that this is going to be pretty, because it's not. I tried to stick kind of true to the movie, so it's furnished in a very, I don't know, I want to say it's like 70s to 90s, like kind of furniture, even though we don't really have that kind of aesthetic in The Sims, but I use all like the old looking furniture, right? So yeah, there's that. And then like in the movie, at one point there's this girl who gets murdered by a garage door, because that's a thing that happens in Scream. But so obviously I had to include a garage, but we don't exactly have garages in The Sims, and that was really hard to do while having the house on foundation and make it look quite right. Like there's just like a lot of little things like that were really difficult to do. Also, there's a room above the garage, almost like an attic space that's just a storage room. In the movie where Sydney, who's like the main character, she ends up jumping out of a window to run away. And that was really hard to do. I don't necessarily even know that I have a window in the right place with that. But I think the exterior does look very true to the movie. And I tried to keep the interior floor plan from what you see in the movie pretty accurate. I think the kitchen is pretty good. I think in the movie it faces a different direction is the only thing. But the actual, like, where counters are placed is very similar. And I actually looked at, like, reference pictures of the kitchen, like, the scene where she's in, like, everyone is in the kitchen in the movie. I looked at that and tried to kind of replicate it as best as possible. I just had to switch the orientation of it. And then, like, the living room, I tried to get very consistent. And then the staircase, I placed it where I thought it would go based on, like, when one of the characters falls down the stairs at one point. And then, I'm trying to think, what else did I do? The only other thing I can, like, remember doing to try and make it correct with the movie was, there's this closet that, towards the end of the movie, two of the main characters are hiding in, and I made sure to include that closet. So just, like, little things like that, I tried to make sure were in there, because I did want it to stay true to the movie. I also looked at a lot of reference pictures for this, so the exterior ends up looking very, very similar to the actual house. Like, shockingly similar. When I finish with it. The interior, kind of ugly. Like, the furnishing, ugly, not gonna lie. Like, at one point, there is a room behind the kitchen in the movie where one of the serial killers, he's all angry and he goes and he slashes a pillow with a knife. And it looks like it's a pink pillow, but you can't tell because it's kind of shadowy and he's just, slashing a pillow because he's a serial killer and he's angry. And I made sure to include, like, that room with, like, a couch with a pink pillow, but it's an ugly couch and it's an ugly swatch and, I'm not going to say it's a great house, okay? But it's really functional. And if you really wanted your Sims to live in the house from Scream, this is, I would say, a pretty good one, because not only does it look like the house from Scream, it also is very functional. It utilizes all the packs, except for the newest one, Eco Lifestyle, because none of the items really fit with the aesthetic, and it came out when I was halfway through building it. But, like, this house has pretty much everything you need, and there's a lot of outdoor space where you could put extra skill building stuff, which I think is nice. But yeah, there's 3 bedrooms in this house, and they're all pretty big. The smallest one has plenty of room for a double bed and a desk, and I put a fitness machine in there, so it's pretty big. But yeah, I don't know. I would just say, overall, pretty usable house. It has a laundry room. It has, I think, 3 bathrooms. It has a garage, so not that you need that in The Sims, but it has one. Yeah, it has a storage room where I just stuck a bunch of stuff that could easily become a different bedroom and bring down the cost a lot. Because that was the thing, is I noticed this house was very expensive when I built it. And that was because I, like, have so much stuff in this upstairs, like, attic storage room. That, like, isn't even usable, like, right? Like, it's all a bunch of clutter items mostly. And then, like, It has a few skill building items like the woodworking table and like an easel, but like they are not accessible because they're surrounded by other objects, so there's no way your sim could even use them. So they're super useless, but I wanted it to stay true to the movie, so I included them. So like if you wanted to like download this house, super easy. You just like get rid of that storage room and it's way more affordable. With that being said, I didn't really put any constraints on myself other than trying to make it look as much like the movie as possible. Yeah, so I made sure to include a fridge in the garage because there is a fridge in the garage in the movie. You know, just I tried my hardest. I really did. I find it very hard to furnish garages in The Sims because what do you put in them? I put like a toy car that I sized up, like this toy truck. But what even else is there? I don't know. I just don't feel like there's too much to do with garages. And like, as you can see, like the foundation is still under that spot where I kind of made a garage door with wallpaper, so it looks a little bit funky, and I'm just sorry. Like, I tried my hardest. I also deleted the foundation in there so that there'd be like the steps down, because in the movie there's steps down, and in the movie the steps down are a lot steeper, but there wasn't really a way for me to do that without ruining the foundation on the rest of the house, because, yeah. And see, I wanted to include a doggy door on the garage, because there's a doggy door on the garage door in the actual movie, but there was no way I could do that and have the windows look right. So, you know, we really did just try our hardest out here today. But, you know, that's okay. I think that it looks a lot like the Scream house from the outside, and the inside, you can tell what I was doing. And it could easily be fixed to be a lot prettier if you're, like, digging the exterior. The other thing that I found very hard on this house was roofing. I would say that the roofing on the back half of the house looks wrong. It does not look correct. But I tried. And that's what matters. I also, in the movie, there isn't really a dining space, and I think that they probably just took that out when they filmed. So I put that in with the kitchen because it made the most sense to put it in with the kitchen. But I did include a dining space, which I would have put in kind of the back room where the couches were, but I wanted to have that because they were in the movie. Like, it's just such a mess. Such a mess. But yeah, looking at reference pictures to build this, I won't lie, it was pretty interesting. We're about to jump ahead in just a moment where you'll see what I did with the kitchen. And yeah, I tried to make that as correct as possible too. So when it came to furnishing this house, I put windows where they looked right, and there's a lot of them because I always put a lot of windows. But then I also, like specifically in rooms that you see in the movie, I tried to make sure there were windows where you see windows. So there were windows that I actually ended up deleting in the kitchen. So it looks like a little bit funky from the outside, but that was what was happening in the movie. Yeah. We just try to be as consistent as possible. I also cut out a lot of footage because I was trying to replicate something, so I was fiddling with it to make it as close as possible. So I changed rooms so many times. Like, I would build a room and change it and build a room and change it and build a room and change it. And so it just became very different very quickly. But yeah, I don't know. I think overall it's pretty cool. The furnishing was also really hard because it was such a such a large house. It was just, like, that was, I think, the hardest part is even upstairs, the floor plan, there wasn't really anything for me to base off of because you don't see very much of, like, the upstairs bedroom space in the movie. And so making it match was very, very difficult. Yeah, so just, like, it was super hard because the upstairs is just so big, right? Because it is a big house in real life that I end up having this, like, massive, like, huge hallway that's, like, 3 or 4 tiles wide. And then when you have a hallway that size, if you feel the need to furnish it, like, it just looks better if you furnish it. And so that part, a whole mess, right? Like, I ended up just kind of putting filler furniture, and I threw an easel in at one spot too, and that's definitely not what the floor plan would be in real life, but I just didn't even know what to do upstairs. Like, there was so much room, and I didn't know how to build rooms without a lot of hallway. There was so many floor tiles to fill upstairs, which is also why the bedrooms are so big. Yeah, and I would say, like, individually furnished, the bedrooms are pretty good, but, like, collectively, I don't know how well they match the house. Like, especially the kids' room is a lot more modern looking than the rest of the house. The parents' bedroom, there were so many walls. I didn't know what to put on all the walls in that master bedroom, so I just kind of stuck stuff on the walls. And it doesn't really match the rest of the furnishing, but, you know, We did our best, and that's what matters. And then, what else did I even do? I don't know. I think, my favorite room is probably, like, the teenage-looking bedroom, which I imagine would be Stu's room from the movie. That was what I was picturing when I was building it. So, yeah, I don't know. This was a hard one. I tried so hard, but I don't love it. I love how well it matches the movie, but I don't love it. That's okay, though. And it was just so hard to, like, build a floor plan for a real house when you only have, like, the outside structure, and then you have these references pictures that you have to go off of, so you're working within a lot of constraints, is, I think, the only thing, right, when you try to do something like this. Like, I was working with the constraints of trying to place this closet in the hallway, trying to have this little back room with couches in it, with having the kitchen look the way it does in the movie, like, I'm trying to think, like, with having a staircase that this character can fall down, with having couches that look kind of the way they do in the movie, with having a garage, even though garages aren't even functional in The Sims. Like, I was just trying to do all of that, and I'm not sure how well it worked, but, I tried my diddly darndest. Yeah. I don't know. I think when you see the finalized exterior, it's kind of like, wow, I did it. I did something cool. Because it looks so similar to the movie. Like, I'll have a picture of the actual house from the movie at the end of this video, for comparison. But I just think that, wow, I did such a good job. And also, when you look up reference pictures of the actual house, the landscaping is a lot different than it is in the movie, which I found kind of interesting. Because when you look up, like, that real house from Scream on Google Images, it'll show you, because it's a house that you can actually go and tour in California. And so it has, like, a fountain outside, and it doesn't have a fence. In the movie, there is a fence, so that's why I included it. And we're actually about to see, like, the entire, like, exterior with landscaping. And wow, I just think it looks so nice. But, yeah, the interior is not as nice as the exterior. But I definitely think that I stayed true to a movie that I love. I actually do adore Scream. Like, I think it is a phenomenal movie because I like horror movies to some extent, but I think that they do get really schlocky, which I think everyone knows about the genre, They get schlocky, they get cheesy, they have a lot of the same tropes across movies, and it can kind of feel like you're watching the same movie over and over again when you watch a lot of horror movies. And, like, I really like movies like Hereditary, which kind of are definitely a different kind of horror than your traditional, like, slasher movie. And I actually like Midsommar, which is by the same director as Hereditary, quite a bit, because I think that they give the genre some variety and stuff like that, right? But when, like, your classic slasher films are just very cheesy, and Scream definitely makes fun of that. Like, it's very aware of what it is, and it makes fun of itself. And it also, like, it brings up tropes, and it talks about tropes, right? Like, in the movie, they constantly are like, oh, well, the sin factor, if you sin, quote unquote, you get killed by the serial killer. So if you have, like, sex as a teenager, if you drink, if you do drugs, then you're going to be killed by the serial killer, because that's what happens in horror movies. And it brings up that trope, but then it kind of doesn't follow it because of some of the characters who live. Like, it's just a good movie. I don't even know how to explain it. It just slaps. So, I don't know. And it does have a twist at the end. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a twist at the end. I also think probably, like, my favorite part of Scream is how at the end, when they're fighting the serial killer, you think it ends, and then it doesn't, and then you think it ends, and then it doesn't, and then you think it ends, and it doesn't, like, 3 times. Like, I don't know. I really, really love Scream. And also the reason I included this laundry room is, once again, I just had so much extra space, like, because this is a pretty large floor plan, so I wanted to try to utilize this extra space in, like, a functional way, and, like, have it not be stupid, but it's also, like, an ugly laundry room, because, like, I didn't want to use all the, like, the laundry day stuff, because it doesn't fit with the rest of the house, so it's not like I could use any of that stuff. The only thing I could use, really, was, like, a washer and dryer. So we're really just out here trying our best, but I think that it is a very functional house, and if it were to be like refurnished to be more usable for whatever your needs are, then you could just have the exterior from Scream in whatever house you wanted. Yeah, I like did not realize how much I love this bed from Cats and Dogs. I used it in 2 of the bedrooms, but boy oh boy, I really like it because it has a lot of plain colors. Like it has like the greeny tone, and like I think it has a plain blue tone and plain red tone, but then it also has some really, really beautiful patterns. And I'm not sure how well they match with the rest of the game, except for Cats and Dogs. Like can't see myself using them like with the rest of like the game too much, but they're beautiful patterns. I hope you know that the bathrooms in this build are intentionally gross looking. I very much wanted them to look terrible because I feel like if it's a house in the 90s, like I made the kitchen pretty nice because I was trying to match like the colors of like the swatch colors of counters and like stoves and stuff to swatch colors from the movie, right? So it's a nice kitchen, which doesn't really match the fact that it's like a 90s kitchen, but I will say it isn't there. The bathrooms are pretty ugly because you don't see a bathroom in the movie. But a bathroom in the 90s, I feel like it would have like maybe some old tile, you know, and just like I think it'd be ugly. That's just what I think. So I tried to make ugly bathrooms. So don't think that they're ugly because I suck at things. I wanted them to be ugly. I wanted them to look so bad. But yeah, see, and like I did end up using one of the really pretty like quilted patterns on one of the beds that like the bed from Cats and Dogs in this like teenage room, which I actually like love this room. Like I think that the like way the skateboards matched the bed was very impressive. I did not see that one coming. Like I was kind of pulling them out thinking that it would make it look a lot more teenagery, but I wasn't sure if I'd find a swatch, and then it matched like perfectly, and I was just like, shock. This was never meant to happen to me, but alas, here we are. The Sims 4 really did pull through for once. Yeah. I don't know. I think overall, I really just like, there are so many things I like that I did. I really like this teenage bedroom. And then like the exterior, I'm just so proud of how well it matches the house. And like, I was looking through reference pictures and I had built like the entire exterior, and then I found another reference picture and it confirmed what I had kind of done with guesswork, and I was just like, wow, I'm a genius. Like I put the kitchen and the garage, I'm pretty sure in the right spot. I'm just, wow, look at me go. I'm a real winner. But yeah, so the house from Scream, that's what we built today. And I built like that storage room off camera because I didn't think it would be super exciting to just be like placing a bunch of random furniture in a room. But I don't know if you can see how cluttered it is. It's just got a bunch of stuff in it. Like it has a foosball table, it has a woodworking table, it has an easel, and then it has just clutter items, like shelving and stuff, and random papers and boxes and whatever. But yeah. The other thing, I have such a bad habit of not saving my game when I build. It like scares me because I always keep too many things running on my PC. It's a really, really bad habit. So I'll have like all these things running, and I just like my game will like start to crash a little bit because I'll have like 50 tabs open on, not 50 tabs, I'm not that crazy, but like I'll have like, you know, a solid 10 tabs open on Google Chrome, and I'll have Origin open, and The Sims kind of like, it's a lot for my game to run with all the packs in it. So I really do it, like I'm asking my computer to pull through pretty hard here. And then, okay, the hallway space is so huge, and I struggled so hard to furnish it. I just didn't even know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do with all this space? So I just stuck an end table in there, and a chair, and a chest table, and pretended it was fine. But, like, really, I don't know what I was meant to do with that. And I could have tried to, like, rework the floor plan upstairs, but at a certain point, I had, like, refigured it out so many times that I was like, you know what, it's a bad floor plan, but we're just gonna use it. We're just gonna call it a day. All the rooms are sizable, at least there's that. Like, technically there should be room for another bedroom, but is that gonna happen today? I don't think so. Like, we just did our best, and that's all that I can really ask myself to do. But yeah, overall, pretty good build. It has its flaws, as in the furnishing is ugly, and the floor plan is whack. But it looks like the house from Scream, and that's all we were trying to do. Oh, and I just noticed I need to add a post on this staircase to make it look normal. I'll go back and do that, and I'll, like, put the mailbox somewhere because I forgot to do that. But those are the plans. I also want to change the lot traits to be like haunted, because I think that'd make sense and be kind of funny. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to finish, because I wanted to do like the other upstairs bathroom off camera. But yeah, I just threw some clutter furniture in there, called it a day. It's what I had to get done, you know? But with that being said, we're going to be going into screenshots soon. So I am going to go. Have a very nice day. Goodbye.